guys, welcome back to another edition of This Old Gibson. This here old J45 was made in 1949, which is the same year that my mom was born, and not too far away. This one, Kalamazoo, mom was born in Pontiac, Michigan. And seeing as how this is 72 years old and all, it's been through a lot, to say the least. It's been through a whole lot. One of the things that happened to it over time was someone went and thought it would be a great idea to just completely remove the finish, leaving a nice straight line here. And my customer really hates that. So I'm going to have to continue removing finish, kind of blending it to a certain extent here at the heel. I showed it to Ian Davlin, and he thought we should just remove the entire finish off here, the entire back of the peg head, and refinish it. My first hope was that I wouldn't have to do that. I am replacing the tuners with the original 3 on a plate style. You can see the footprint of the 3 on a plate. So I guess we'll just start sanding and see what we come up with. You know, things change. You set out on one course of action, and then as you get, a percentage of the way through the project, you change courses. So we'll just start sanding and see what happens. The neck's not coming off on this job. There's one more repair that is kind of one of the most important little repairs of this job, is that it seems that the neck block was damaged or came unglued at some point or whatever. When the neck was reset, some damage happened here, and the customer wants me to do a little touch up down here, so we'll be looking at that too. So lots of finish work repairs on this one. Stick around for all the fun. As usual, I end up down here at the spray window, killing 2 birds with 1 stone today. I did my stripping and I did my sanding. Thanks to this rolling pin sander, I got the idea for this thing. Simon from the UK was talking about it in the group, and I think he's sending Robin one of these. Anyways, these guys, they're always very generous, sending each other tools and stickers and t-shirts and stuff like that. But anyways, I found this on eBay. Or Amazon. It's from Shop Fox, and it makes for pretty quick work coming around these curved surfaces and stuff. It even works pretty good up here. And this is the spline job. So next thing is I'm going to take and fire up the compressor and blow out any dirt or unclog as many of these pores as I can. We call it wood grain. There's little pitted parts of the grain. And then I'll take the Prevail sprayer and stick a tube on it and a nozzle and put it on this here and hold it right up next to that window and put on 2 coats of shellac. Once I do that, I can refill the grain with the StuMac water-based grain filler, and it'll be colored with different dyes, dark brown, maybe some black. This one's much darker than that one. This one's almost a kind of a semi-natural looking, and that one's quite a bit darker, less transparent, less translucent. So this one's going to get some opaque pigments as well as regular dyes and stains. Update on the J45. We've got the grain filler into the grain. Can you see? Yeah, it was kind of a dark chocolate color. I'm not getting a good angle, but from this angle I can kind of see that it still needs another coat of filling, at least on the very top here. Some of the other areas don't look like they need any additional filling, wood filler, grain filler. But when I get to right about here, it looks like right along the top edge it needs some, but not so much on the side grain, just right there. So I better touch that up a little bit maybe. I think I'll do a clear barrier coat and then I'll get back with it. Okay, right here I got a little denatured, and then I'm going to add a little shellac, and then last but not least I'm going to add a piece or one little drop of Kalamazoo. Watch this. Get a Q-tip. And we give it a little wipey. That's too wet. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's try this. Kalamazoo! Looking pretty good. Try these. That looks good. You can get uneven with it. Get some little lines going. Alright. Okay, now we got lacquer. The lacquer thinner, it's kind of a thin mix. And I got a drop of vintage amber. Two drops. Now this time I can take a paintbrush. Watch this. That's a little too dark. I think that's too dark. Okay, I'm going to adjust the color on that. I'm going to take half of that color and transfer it into another cup with a little more lacquer, and then I've got Kalamazoo on the end of that. So it's not a full drop of Kalamazoo, it's just a little end of a Q-tip kind of thing. Now, should have a different result. Yeah, kind of like that. I like that. You don't want to get it like all solid. You want to leave it kind of random. Even go, you know, crossed sometimes. The random looks better. You can go over it with some clear lacquer. Alright, this is Stu Mac, or what they call color tone medium brown. Medium brown was a little redder than I hoped it would be. I have to account for that this wood was very red. Abnormally red, I might even say. But that's where we're at. I added a little tobacco brown in there to blend that heel existing lacquer with the new. I think it looks pretty good. So we'll see what it looks like after some clear coats. This is the pickup tape, they call it. This is the type of tape that you wrap around your pickup coils, and it seems to work really good for taping off the fretboard edges. Very nice. So what I'll do is get in with some magnification and see if I need to clean up that line a little bit. Then I'll take it back out to the spray window and spray those clear coats. But I'll break away real quick in between segments and show you my spray rig again. A little look at the setup here. Behind this cabinet we have the air compressor. Sometimes I just use that CO2 tank to run air over to the airbrush. Here's the buffer. Much better now that I've got it suspended out in front. Kind of, you know, away from the tool chest. And keep some supplies up here. And there's the spray window. After I finish each spray, I open up the garage, let it air out a little bit, and then wait an hour. And we'll come back for the next coat. It's been a few weeks now. Where I'm at with this is I did 12 coats of lacquer, which is thinned down with, you know, I guess about 40% thinner, 60% lacquer, so that I can get it to spray nicely. After a week or a week and a half or so, I do a wet sand with 600 grit sandpaper, and that's that gray StewMac wet sandpaper, 600 grit. Try to get out the orange peel. And then my last coat was a satin lacquer, and that's StewMac traditional aged satin. Comes in a aluminum can, and they say it's already thinned for spraying, so you just spray it on and you spray a nice wet coat, really kind of a thick coat, and it's shiny, but it's not a high gloss. It doesn't need to go to the buffer. There's no more wet sanding that needs to be done. It's just ready to go. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about how I masked this off and how careful I need to be when I take this tape off, because this is a 72, 73-year-old guitar, and that lacquer is going to want to come right off on the tape unless I do some very special stuff. So let's take this tape off very carefully. I'll show you. New addition to the shop is the Total Vise. I kept seeing Ian Davlin from Ian Hates Guitars and Doug Proper and a couple other of the guys from the Ian Hates Guitars forum. Well, we'll call it it's the Zoom call. They call it the Luth-along. And you have to subscribe to the Patreon called Ian Hates Guitars if you want to join along with us. And one of the things I couldn't resist buying is this Total Vise right here. I just like the versatility of it. You can swivel it this way, you can tilt it this way, you can crank this down to open up the jaws a little this way, or you can have them angled inward at the top or outward at the top. You can you know, because there's two adjustments here, you can nicely hold on to the guitar neck. You know, the guitar neck has a taper, so the total vise is a great vise. And it opens to about dang near 8 inches. You could put the whole guitar body in there because this back piece slides all the way back if you like. But back to this here. Taking the tape off is tricky. So what I do is I take naphtha, and I've got it in a dropper bottle, and I carefully drop naphtha on the area and let the tape kind of release itself. I'm not pulling. I'm kind of letting the tape let me know when it's ready to come off. Just drop by drop. Inch by inch. Right now there's a little resistance. I gotta, you know, you just wait. Be patient. Don't rip it off. Don't go yanking off your tape. Like, this lacquer is 70 years old. And this tape, this is another important part that Ian had to make real clear to me. He saw me working with this blue clean edge tape from 3M or Scotch-Brite. It'll peel that lacquer right off. So this is just what you call garden variety Walmart masking tape. Dollar General, cheap stuff. It's less likely to peel off. And then this thick tape, this is called low-tack tape. Dan Earlywine has been using this on the StewMac videos. And I like to keep a roll of this low-tack tape. Right here you can see some of the lacquer peeled off because I was talking and I wasn't taking it slow enough. But I can see from right here this is a high wear area on the guitar anyways. It was probably damaged and ready to fall off regardless. Just take your time, drop in that solvent, and it comes right off. Kind of stinks, but it's the safest way. I'm going to take these other pieces off. I won't bore you with that. Get these restoration bushings in here. Boy, it's been a couple months since I started this job. Sure is going to be nice to hear this thing again. This is one of the finest sounding acoustical guitars that I've had in here over the last several months. And this is my relic job that I did on them. They come in kind of the buttons are, you know, you saw them. I think I filmed that. Anyways, that's how it should look. Nice. If you have to drill new screw holes for your tuners, it's good to measure the screw. See where we got 78 thousandths of an inch, and then go to your collection of drill bits, and you want it about 10 thousandths of an inch less. This one's measuring at 64 thousandths, 66, 60, yeah, about 66 thou. And then I like these StewMac ones because they have a depth stop on them, so I'm going to drill that. This mahogany is so soft and old, it cuts like butter, so we make sure you don't go all the way through. Now, I like to wax every screw with beeswax because if they are a little tight, they will break right off. And if they snap off, oh, these are going in nice. Yeah, if you get one of these, if you get to this point and you snap one of these off down there, you've just refinished the guitar. You need some really special tools to bore out a broken screw if it's flush with the wood surface, or sometimes even buried down deep. They'll break. That is a challenge. Actually, I'll do a video one day on that, how to dig those out. I used to just go drilling a bunch of holes all around it, but if you get into this situation where you've just refinished a job, you don't want to start doing that. That's horrible. All right, last look at that neck. Looking good. Got some 12 through 53 strings on her. It's one of the better sounding ones I've had here in the last month. I had a J45, a newer one that sounded really good, but nothing compares to that old sound. Let it rain, let it pour, let it come down a whole lot more when I got them deep river blues. Let the waves ride along, let the wind drive me home. Yes, I got them deep river blues. My old gal, she's a good old pal. She sounds just like water